Let's talk about Lee Cronin's The Mummy, which is the latest reimagining of The Mummy. Now, we are seeing a lot of influx going back to the old school monsters, right? Which, nothing wrong with that. I do have a bigger conversation to be had about the state of film today and how, I'm going to save that because that's a whole other conversation. I'm not straying away from the topic, which I do a lot. But we did get the new trailer here. This new film is written and directed by Lee Cronin. It is a reimagining of the Mummy franchise, so we're still getting the Brendan Fraser Mummy, of course, from Radio Silence in a couple of years. This film stars Jack Rayner, as well as Leia Costa, May Kalamawi, as well as Natalie Grace, and it is being produced by James Wan and Jason Blum's production companies, Atomic Monster, Blumhouse, released April 17th through Warner Brothers Pictures. This is a trailer that we got a couple of days ago, and I haven't been able to really react with it. I've been kind of busy, y'all. I've been trying to do some other stuff. Stay tuned for that. But I did want to talk about it, and I just talked about it in the horror news, which you can go check out right now. And this trailer was interesting because this completely took a different turn than what I thought it was going to be like. It is a film that gets me so excited the more I read into it because the trailer is just absolutely insane. So let's read about the premise. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. 50,000 subscribers is the big goal. The young daughter of a journalist disappears without a trace in the desert. The Shatter family is stunned when the girl suddenly reappears 8 years later, but what should have been a joyful family reunion quickly turns into a true nightmare. And I saw the trailer for this and I was intrigued with the tone that it had because it is a very bleak tone. Now, we did see Lee Cronin do the film Evil Dead Rise a couple of years ago, and actually it's coming around the corner of its debut. The anniversary was at South by Southwest, which we will be attending and are very excited about that, so stay tuned. And now we have Lee Cronin returning here to do a film that feels very similar. And with that, I mean that we see a family member turn into something else, and it looks kind of interesting. And we don't know exactly why this happened. This girl is now mummified, but she is not just there standing doing much. Now, one thing I want to point out about this trailer is Lee Cronin loves split diopters. We see this a lot throughout. And I am very excited about the possibilities of what's to bring here for The Mummy, because I don't think we've seen a story this way about a mummified child and all that. We have seen zombie stories that kind of take this similar approach where it is a young, innocent person that turns into the monster, and then you're just trying to figure out, like, bro, that's a kid, but they're still a monster, and it's an interesting approach that I think is going to be very, very fun. But I do think that it gives me a lot of Conjuring vibes as well, which is interesting. And a lot of different tonal shifts and whiplash throughout, because we see them almost having like a curse of sorts with the mummy, but then it turns into also like a horror pop-up vibe going on throughout, where we're seeing this girl as the mummy popping up and attacking different people. So I don't know how exactly it's gonna fit or not. I don't really think the girl looks scary per se, and I hate to use that word because I don't think things are usually scary, but there's just something missing here. It looks a bit too polished how she looks for me, but we'll see. Maybe there's a different form we don't know yet. Maybe like Frieza, this isn't my final form yet. But what really captures me about the film is just knowing what exactly the mystery is here. Why is this little girl being turned into a mummy, being used the way she is? They also make a quick mention in the trailer that there's other girls like her, so there's obviously a bigger curse at hand here that is terrorizing everybody here, and that's what's making me curious about it. I don't know about anything else. I do think that the film looks great, it's shot well, but it looks a bit too polished at the same time, and that's just my 2 cents here. So I'm curious. I'll be definitely watching this once it releases in April. Could it be a secret South by Southwest screening? I don't know, maybe. But nonetheless, I am still excited about what's to come here, and I will definitely be discussing more about The Mummy as we get more teasers and trailers. But this first trailer, I thought, did a great job at setting up the mystery, at setting up this sort of like, oh, I want to know what's going down here. What is Lee Cronin cooking up with this story? The story sounds really great. It's just the presentation. I'm just not there all the way. And I don't know if it just feels too much like Evil Dead again, right? I don't know. Give us some like we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to judge it too harshly right now, but it just didn't do it for me, the trailer. That's just my opinion there. Very curious if it did it for you. If it did, that's fine. My opinion doesn't really matter. It's your opinion that matters, right? What you're going to go see, what you're going to go pay for, what you're excited for. That's what matters. And we'll see if Lee Cronin does deliver. I know a lot of people do still like Evil Dead Rise. In my horror movie news segment I did today, I did say that I really loved Evil Dead Rise the first time I saw it. And that was at South by Southwest with all the hype and everything. I mean, we had Sam Raimi there. We had Bruce Campbell. There was an audience member that got kicked out that night. The energy was alive. People were screaming, hooting, hollering. And then I saw it again like 2 or 3 weeks after when it came out with family, regular theater, all of that. And I just wasn't all the way there anymore. So I don't know if the hype got to me. It was also the first year I went to South by Southwest. So that definitely was, I was like, oh, I'm loving everything right off the bat. But I just didn't love it as much. But I will be revisiting it, especially with Evil Dead Burn coming out and Evil Dead Wrath coming out and Lee Cronin's The Mummy right up ahead. It feels like a great time to revisit that movie. And we'll see how I feel about it after. But I just don't know just yet. The Mummy, story-wise, I'm there. I'm seated for it. The vibes of like a curse and everything in the trailer going on, and like there's all of these things happening around them, looks very interesting. And I don't know if he's going towards a Exorcist vibe as well, because that's kind of what I'm sort of getting from the trailer and the teaser. And if that's the route, it could definitely be interesting. But if we're going like a Conjuring route, I don't know, because it just feels like we've been down that road so many times, not just with the Conjuring films, but with other films that have come before. And I don't know if I'm ready for that, especially because it's Warner Brothers, it's James Wan, it's Blumhouse. They want to keep it quote unquote safe, right? They want to give people what they know, and that just might be detrimental to the film in itself. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion. I may be wrong, and I hope I am wrong, because I want to get some good stuff. But nonetheless, this is The Mummy from Lee Cronin. The trailer, I thought, did a good job at giving us that story. It looks interesting, and it looks like it could be great, and it looks like it could be okay. That's just what I think. But The Mummy from Brendan Fraser is still coming out, by the way. I have to make that clear because people are getting it confused. That is coming out, directed by Radio Silence, who, of course, have Ready or Not, and also did the last 2 Scream films. So very excited to be a fan of horror, honestly. So many great stuff. But as always, I will see all of you next time. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Let me know what you thought about the trailer. Did it do it for you? Are you excited? And if you are, comment below what you're most excited for. I'm curious to know. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. 50,000 subscribers is the goal. I'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.